Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Happy Monday. It's almost Christmas. It's getting there. As you recall, last week or the week before, I did a Why We Play the Game Part 1. Well, it wasn't Part 1 then. It was just the name game because I was having trouble coming up with random names on the fly for NPCs, monsters, places, things, etc. And as my players tonight may or may not have noticed, or maybe they'll attest to it later in the comment section, I was able to solve that problem in a fun and quick way without too much ado with the help of some letter dice. See if I can bring these up. There's a different letter on each side. It was a set of 6 from a game called Dice Capades that I've never actually heard of, but I was looking for dice and I saw some letter dice and I'm like, oh hey. I used to actually have some in one of my dice bags and I totally forgot about it. They're from some weird bookshelf game, but they were wooden dice and they were just printed really well. They had an indentation for the ink to go into, and it was gold ink. After a few short decades, they were all but unreadable. And these are nice, bright, easy to read. Mind you, there's only 6 of them, and sometimes I'll roll and I won't get a vowel, even a Y. But I was able to use these tonight in my AD&D game with my regular players. Going on our 3rd year. January will be our 3rd year. And, I've always struggled with coming up with names. I used to have a job where I would sit and write down names all day long because I was a telemarketer for one of my first jobs. I was 16 and I'm playing D&D, and I'd come across names and things, and I'd keep a little pad and notepaper and write down names and things and ideas. And somewhere along the road, I stopped working there, but I stopped doing that, and I probably should go back to doing that. As a matter of fact, I kind of did that tonight because I was rolling up random names, and I would come up with a name, and then I would come up with a title or an occupation, or that sounds like a great name for this or that, and I needed a name for some demons and some places and things like that tonight, and this helped. Mind you, it would be nice to have a few more of these. I might get a second set. I got them on eBay for all of like $5, and I know they have more. I should have just bought 2, but fortunately it didn't take them long to get here. Maybe a week. I don't really remember. I could look it up, but it's not important. If you guys, have the same issue as I do, wanting to come up with cool names, and on the fly, and for me, see, I don't want to use like Earth-like names too often. Occasionally they fit, and with my player characters, if they use a name, like Tom, Dick, or Harry, or something in their name, I'm not going to begrudge them that. But for my worlds, they're never Earth, so those names are just not going to be very common, and I want them to sound as alien or different or odd, and especially with like monsters and demons and bad guys. I want them to have a hard sounding name, and this actually helped. I'm going to see if I kept my notes handy, or did I just tear them up like I usually do. I think yeah, here's one of my pages of notes, like Volrax and Raxtier and Cybef and Fiok. They don't sound like Earth names, and that's what I'm looking for. And I can, fit them in wherever I want. And instead of struggling, I can just roll until I get something, rearrange them. Let's just try a little example of it real quick. I got a J, a Y, an O, a U, an L, and an M. Now, I tend to start with consonants because I want to put the vowels in the middle. It just makes more sense. So let's see what I can come up with. J-O-L... Jollum. J-O-U... Jolum, and I'm going to throw the Y away. Jolum. All right, it sounds kind of goofy, but you know, if I need a name for an orc or a kobold or an ogre, good to go, right? I could also rearrange it and come up with something else. Use all 6, or like I often do, I'll make it a three letters hyphen and then another 3 letters, or you know, sometimes I only use 4 or 5 of the letters, but for me, this is what I'm going to do from now on. It adds a little more dice in my dice bag because it's kind of minuscule. I've got like 20 dice in my dice bag that I've been using, but now I've got 6 more, and I'll probably go out and get another set just so if I, you know, like I said, sometimes I don't get a vowel, and then I got to roll over, and I got some cool letters, but then I roll and I get a vowel, and like that was a weak roll. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Have you done this? Do you do this? Do you think it's a sucky idea? Do you think it's a little too gimmicky? I don't know. I like it. It's going to work for me, and I hope if you guys have problems with this, or you know, just for the heck of it, I don't make any money off this, but you know, maybe go out and find some. I also saw at the dollar store there was a bag of like 25 wooden cubes, and I suppose I could go and make my own for, you know, $1, just, you know, give them a wash of something. But these ones are nice and big and rounded and easy to read, whereas the cubes that I saw, I might, though, I was thinking take those cubes and use them for magical symbols or things like that, because they're, you know, I don't care if they're properly weighted and things like that, but you know, maybe like put moon, star, Christmas tree, you know, different things like that. If I can come up with enough random runes or symbols or some things like that that you're not going to find on regular dice, and you know, if I need those, I can pull them out as well. Maybe I'll do a quick craft video on that. Probably do that next year, because I won't be going to any stores for the remainder of this year as far as I know. But that's what I've got for you today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys get some giggles out of the names that I come up with. And until next time, folks, happy trails.